Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are going deep, really deep on the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, and there's a lot to talk about.
For weeks, all we've been hearing is this buzz about a huge move, the final piece to create what some are calling the most feared big three in the West.
That's the story, for sure. But our mission today is to kind of cut through that hype and look at the actual reality on the ground.
Okay.
We're going to unpack their recent games, pinpoint the team's single biggest statistical weakness, and it is a big one, and then dive into the trade market that could, make or break their entire season.
All right, let's get into it because our sources are pointing to the front office being absolutely laser focused. But before the trade talk, we have to look at what's happening on the court. That's what's driving all this urgency. And it really all starts with that recent win over the Suns.
That 114 to 112 win against Phoenix, that was huge.
It felt like more than just a win.
Oh, it was. It was a statement, a message, really. A bit of revenge against a team that had, frankly, humiliated them not long before. But when you look under the hood of that win, the data tells a really conflicting story.
Conflicting is a good word for it. I mean, if you just glance at the offensive stats, you'd wonder how they weren't blown out.
Right. This was not a pretty win. It was a brawl.
It was ugly.
It was almost a statistical anomaly. The truth is, they just struggled so much to score efficiently. And let's just pull out the worst number. Their three-point percentage was it was a shameful 19%.
19.
In today's NBA, that should bury you. A number that low should be a guaranteed loss. It really speaks to how volatile their shooting can be.
But they didn't collapse. Instead, they just leaned into something completely different. Raw physical effort.
And that's the whole story right there.
Yeah.
They made up for that skill gap on the night with pure grit. We saw this absurd 24-0 run.
A 24 run.
Yeah, spanning the second and third quarters. It completely flipped the game. You don't get that without desperation, and you definitely don't get it without just massive, massive effort.
The numbers that back up that effort, they're just staggering. It wasn't a small edge. It was total domination inside.
Look at the rebounding numbers. Just look at those. 54 total rebounds. But the really wild part is the 20 offensive rebounds.
20? That's insane.
To put that in perspective, it means on almost half their misses, they got a second chance, sometimes a third. Now, that's not a sustainable way to run an offense, but it shows you just how relentless they were.
20 offensive rebounds is pure fight. It just wears an opponent down.
And they used that aggression everywhere else. They got to the free throw line 43 times.
Wow.
Just constantly seeking contact.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, they locked in 13 steals, 8 blocked shots. This win was a masterclass in how to win when your offense completely fails you.
And we know that Coach Redick, who's in his first year, he actually loved the messiness of it all.
He took so much pride in it. The sources say he was not bothered by the ugliness at all. In fact, he enjoyed seeing the team fight, sweat, defend as if it were a playoff game.
Because it shows something deeper.
Exactly. He thinks winning when your offense is struggling shows character, and that's the foundation he's trying to build.
Okay, that's a great story, the character win. But here's the friction for me. Can you really celebrate that character when the struggle itself just highlights this massive problem they have? It feels like all that effort just masked the real systemic weakness.
You are absolutely right to connect those. That win was celebrated, but it also put a giant spotlight on a quantitative problem the board cannot ignore. When you look past the heart and just see the cold stats, they scream a warning.
And that warning is?
The Lakers have the 20th worst defense in the entire league.
20th. Just to put that in context for everyone, that's worse than several teams that are actively trying to lose games for draft picks. It's not just a concern, it's a catastrophe if you think you're a contender.
Right. If you want to go up against Denver or OKC or Houston, you need way more than just gets. You need structure.
Yeah.
And this isn't some internal panic either. Everyone sees it.
You're talking about that Marcus Smart comment.
Yeah. Smart basically said that everyone in the league knows the Lakers don't score well. And because of that, other teams just come after them without fear. There's no intimidation factor on defense. Teams know exactly how to attack them.
So if the stats are that bad and everyone around the league knows it, what's making it worse internally right now? Is it the starters or is there just no help coming off the bench?
Mostly a roster construction issue. The depth, that bench gap is just massive. The sources are clear. There is no one on the bench today who can change this scenario alone. They don't have that defensive specialist who can come in for 5 minutes and just lock a unit down.
And that hole gets even bigger when you realize their best defensive guys aren't even on the court.
Precisely. Jared Vanderbilt, who you could argue is their second best defender, he's barely playing. Only 18 minutes for the entire month of December.
18 minutes.
And his skill set, that ability to guard multiple positions, guards through forwards, is the exact thing they're missing. With him out, that defensive hole becomes an abyss.
So the player they need is crystal clear. A versatile winger who can plug that gap immediately.
The need is defined, the clock is ticking. And that brings us to the really high stakes part of all this. The trade market. What do you do when the sources say that market is extremely dry?
And dry is a scary word. It means the elite guys you need just aren't available, or at least not for a price you can pay. So what are the actual viable options on the table right now?
The main viable option, the guy they're scouting heavily, is Keon Ellis from the Kings.
Okay.
And on the surface, he fits the profile. He defends, he can shoot the three-bit 37%, which is solid. He brings energy.
But, and there's always a but, is he really a solution? Or is he just another guy, a reinforcement?
That's the exact concern. He only plays about 17 minutes a game for the Kings. He's the kind of player who helps your bench, for sure, but he doesn't change the team's level. He doesn't move the needle far enough to fix a 20th ranked defense.
So who's that needle mover? Who's the dream target, the untouchable guy who would fix this?
That name is Herbert Jones of the Pelicans.
Yeah.
He is the elite, lockdown, versatile defender that every contender wants. He would fundamentally change everything for them defensively.
But he's untouchable.
Completely untouchable, according to the sources. The Pelicans have no interest. And even if they did, the Lakers just don't have the assets, the picks, the young players to even start a conversation.
So that's the dilemma. This is the dangerous game the front office is playing. You have to choose between what's realistic and what's required.
It's a huge gamble either way. Option A, you go get Keon Ellis now, you get some help, you plug a hole, but you use up assets and maybe close the door on a better option showing up later.
And option B is just,
Option B is wait. You hold your assets and pray the market changes at the deadline, that some team decides to blow it all up. But the risk there is you could end up with nothing at all. And you're stuck with that same 20th ranked defense heading into the playoffs.
But hold on, if they have this incredible culture, this fight that Coach Redick loves, doesn't that buy the front office some time? Doesn't that unity mean they can afford to wait for the right piece, for a Herbert Jones type, instead of panicking for Ellis?
That is a great point, and it leads us right into the culture piece. Because that internal fight, that ability to win ugly, is where the culture comes in. You can be the 20th ranked defense, but if you have that belief, that glue, you can weather the storm. And a lot of that is being driven by Doncic.
He's playing like an MVP, but the sources say his off-court impact is what's really building that champion team mentality.
And it's so deliberate. His actions are designed to unite the entire organization, not just the players. The most recent example is just, it's
The
amazing.
electric bicycles.
He bought 103 high-end electric bicycles. And he didn't just give them to his teammates.
Yeah.
He gave them to the entire Lakers operations department.
Wow.
The trainers, the video guys, the wardrobe crew, physical therapists, everyone.
103. That's a massive gesture. That's not just a gift, that's sending a message that everyone is part of this.
It's an investment in morale. It creates that feeling of being at the same pace on and off the court, which is what gives a team its morals, its integrity. And this isn't a one-time thing. He organized a Porsche driving experience for them before. He understands how to build loyalty.
And it goes beyond the team too, right? He's connecting with the community.
Absolutely. When the wildfires hit California, he was one of the first to step up, donate, and get really involved. The sources say he just gets the weight of being the face of the Lakers, and he carries it with this absurd maturity. That's why they trust him.
You can see why Coach Redick is so proud of that attitude. And it's clear that with Doncic and LeBron playing at this level, and the team showing this kind of fight, they have a real shot.
They do. They have a shot.
Right.
But, and we have to keep coming back to this,